Hi, I'm Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy. I just shaved. You're not used to seeing me like clean shaven, are you? So here's what I want to talk about. I'm going to address the fact that by default, I'm kind of a villain. I'm fully like accepting my role in the world, that to some people I am a villain. I've been consistent from as long as I've made these videos that I am against any kind of surgery or, look at that. See, that's just my hair falling out right there. I'm against any surgery or medication or oil or anything like that to try to save my hair from falling out. There's a rabbit or something over there. But with that being said, naturally, if I proclaim that as my belief, I'm gonna have people that watch these videos and disagree with me. So that's fine, because I hopefully, as I can be passionate in expressing my firm foundational beliefs on this, if people want to do that, then that's fine. But I'm going to point out the problems I see with it. So I didn't even hear of Propecia until maybe this week. I don't pay attention to that. I just know that the surgeries leave scars, the tattoos, then you're going to have a tattooed head. And then to learn about Propecia this week, as I looked at rxlist.com, only to find out that there are all these side effects, which that's what happens when you're dealing with medication, subscription drugs. There's going to be side effects. And so even if they don't affect most people, the fact that that could happen to me, that's one more reason that backs up my theory of why I don't believe in using drugs if you can avoid it. So then someone brought up the fact, they said, well, Nick, sorry to break this to you, but you're 35 years old. You're 15 years away from, being at risk for an enlarged prostate. Okay, and I'm aware of that. That's 15 years away for me. And then my rebuttal to that was, well, you do know I'm a vegan, right? Now, let's talk about that, because if you didn't already think I'm a villain, now it gets worse. You're really going to think I'm a villain now. Because in case you haven't watched all my videos to know this, when I say I'm a vegan, I am seriously a vegan and not experimenting with it. I've been a vegan for years. So check this out. For over 3 years, I've been a vegan. For over a year before that, I was a vegetarian. And for 7.5 years, I've been kosher. No bacon, no pork, no shellfish. And I've been strict about that. That's how I've lived my life. Now, what I would suggest that you research into is I want you to check out the connection between being a vegan male and the likelihood of having prostate issues. That's what I want you to look up. See what a lot of people, which way do we want to go? We could go the jungle route, huh? Go that way. I think. Now they're doing construction. Let's go this way. Okay. So here's the concept. Here's what I want you to look into. And here's what I'm confident. Now I want to give this disclaimer. Play this in slow motion if you need to. Play it back 17 times. Hear this quote before you hear anything else I say into this video. By being a vegan, I do not believe that I am 100% I'm going to be able to avoid prostate issues or cancer or anything like that. I am going to die. We're all going to die. And whatever day the Lord has decided that I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And I accept that. I don't fear death because what do they say in the new Star Trek movie? That the fear of death is illogical, but yet the fear of death keeps us alive. There's that whole balance going on. I accept that I could fall over right this second, but I didn't, because it wasn't the moment that the Lord has decided that my life should end. So it could be a car wreck, it could be an asteroid, it could be anything, and I'm aware of that. However, I do know that I tremendously minimize the chances of me getting prostate issues or cancer or diseases if I'm consuming zero animal products. Now and I've made a video about this before, and I've also wrote about it on my blog, but now I know a lot of you guys actually aren't American, okay? And I know that America is one of the forefront runners as far as being obese and having more cancer and all that stuff. So I get that, but I still think, especially in European countries, they're still not that far behind as far as eating meat, as far as how much meat we eat. Now, if you go to China, my understanding is they don't eat that much meat. A lot of them by default are vegan because they don't have access to meat. and in many parts of the world. I think India is that way as well, where they're largely vegetarian by default. So with that being said, you get countries like America, for example, where I've lived my whole life, other than, well, I've taught overseas in Asia a couple summers. But as far as actually having a real residence, it's been here in America. And I'm from the South too. I was born, here a little bit of trivia about me. Even though I live in Nashville, I'm from Alabama. So I lived most of my life in Alabama. And growing up in the South, in America, what happens is, it's culturally part of you that you're supposed to eat bacon and sausage. And we're gonna avoid the construction again. So you're like supposed to eat all this stuff, because why? It's the right Southern thing to do. And then on top of that, if you're a man, well, it's part of your manhood. You've got to be masculine. You've got to eat beef and red meat and sausage and bacon. That's part of your identity as a Southerner. And that's how people perceive it. So imagine me, you've seen my personality. You know that I'm not, well, what's the word? I'm not too meek, maybe. I'm very confident and probably aggressive at times. And I'm a vegan, and I've been one for years. So with that being said, it is countercultural that I'm a vegan, especially for the fact that I'm a male, because most vegans are not male. And on top of that, I'm from the South. So with that being said, it's weird that I'm a vegan. And I think that throws people off when they find out that. Keep in mind, I'm also a libertarian. So I don't care what other people do. If you want to have surgery and get your head tattooed and take Propecia, do it. If you want to eat nothing but bacon and sausage, do it. I don't care. But what I'm pointing out is there's definitely a connection between eating meat and being a man. And as far as, and a lot of people don't realize stuff that I take for granted, that I assume everyone knows, but they don't. For example, what leads to diabetes? Sugar, eating too much sugar. Of course, that's a major part of it. If you're drinking soda every day, expect to get diabetes at some point in the near future, as compared to the later future. By the time you're 45, expect to be in danger of getting diabetes. But what a lot of people don't realize is the connection with meat and diabetes. Meat is another thing that brings onset diabetes about in your body, especially as a man. And a lot of people don't realize that, because they think, oh, well, I'm tough, I gotta eat meat, I gotta eat bacon and all that stuff. So then they think it's, emasculating to not eat meat. But I'm telling you, look it up. There's absolutely a connection between, and we're gonna let this Honda Accord pass this real quick. But there's absolutely a connection between how much meat you eat and having prostate issues. There's absolutely a connection between how much meat you eat and if you get diabetes. Now again, do I think I'm gonna live my entire life and never get any kind of cancer or disease or prostate? No, I don't think that. But I think that compared to the average American man who's from the South, I think my chances are largely reduced. I mean, largely. So what I would suggest is for you to, there's more construction, there's lots of construction. What I would suggest is for you to research that yourself, because I've already done the research. Now imagine this, and I'm gonna close with this. What I'm gonna close with is, and by the way, the whole reason I'm talking about being a vegan, because just a quick reminder, because somebody said, well, you're going to be on ProScar anyway by the time you're after 50. There's a good chance you'll have a large prostate, and then you'll have to have the medication anyway, and it's basically the same. It's a lesser form of Propecia and all this, or whatever. They're connected. Propecia, ProScar is connected to being a man and being 50. But again, what if you're a man who doesn't eat meat at all and doesn't eat animal products at all? Now imagine, with my diet and the way I've lived for years, I consume basically 0% cholesterol, because any vegan food, even some does have some cholesterol, like avocados have some in it, but it's never going to register as 1% or higher on the nutritional label. So you've got a guy who's taking in no cholesterol. Imagine how good that's got to be for my heart and for everything else about me. Here's a dying dragonfly. Can you see that? Look at that. All right. So with that being said, that's a lot of my preventative maintenance plan on that. So again, will I die? Will I get disease? I will die at some point, but will I get prostate issues like everyone else at the same likelihood? I think not. I have a lot less chance than most men because of how I eat, and I'm strict about it. So, and then you're thinking, You're a vegan, you don't look like a scrawny, wiry guy. I'm not. In fact, I've actually got some weight I'm trying to lose. I got about 5 to 7 pounds I'm trying to shed off because I ate too many tater tots in vegan chocolate while my wife was pregnant. So even that, it can still cause you to gain weight. But so look into this. I mean, it's okay to think I'm crazy because I'm guessing you already do, because I'm so far, you know, personally against prescription drugs, right? But so here's what I'm proclaiming as far as my belief system. I believe that because I don't consume any animal products, that therefore it's less trouble on my digestion tract, on my heart, prostate even. It's all connected to that. And a lot of men don't want to hear that. They want to think that it's manly to eat meat all the time. But what if you don't eat meat at all the time? I mean, no one's going to watch me or look at these videos and think that guy's not masculine, he's effeminate or anything like that. No one thinks that about me, okay? Because I'm a regular guy who just happens to not eat animal products at all. It's no big deal for me. It's my life, okay? But I'm being very proactive about this. So if you didn't like me before, I guess you really don't like me now, because not only am I the villain who's against prescription drugs whenever possible, especially for vanity reasons like this, but I'm also a vegan. Now, a non-judgmental vegan, by all means. Again, eat your bacon wrapped in sausage or whatever it is. Eat it. I don't care. I'm a libertarian, remember? You live your life how you want to live it. I'm showing you what my plan is to avoid prostate issues and prescription drugs as much as possible. So, what are your thoughts on that? You know, the more that you comment, the more I'm going to talk about this stuff, right? So if you really don't want me to talk about Propecia anymore, stop commenting about Propecia, because I would have never brought it up if it wasn't showing up in the comments. That's the only way I understand I talk about it. There's 12 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy.